Hello, everybody. New week for weekly Subspace desktop. And again, we will be giving you the latest changes. This week, we don't have much to cover, but still, we will go through them. I can share my screen and we can start. I think it's visible, right? Okay. Um, I want to start by the closed PRs because we don't have any open ones at the moment. So we will just be covering closed PRs. For the last week, I believe we already covered that in the last meeting, so I'm gonna start with this one, and then we can jump into that. These are not important. So these are just basically the last two ones are when the monorepo is updated and made a new release, we also reflected that in the desktop side. That's what they are all about. So we have actually two important PRs. This one is um, including the support, introducing the support for external drives. So let me briefly discuss what was going on before and what has changed with this PR. So previously, you were actually able to plot in your external drive, but it was not officially supported. And also there was a bug, which is like our desktop application only lets you to plot for the space that you have free. So you cannot plot more than the free space you available. But when you select the external hard drive, the free disk space was not updating itself. So it was not reflecting the free disk space you have on the external drive. We fixed that. And now you can plot on the external drive with the free space you have on that very specific external drive. That's what this PR is all about. We don't need to dive into technical details. Any questions about that before I proceed to the next one? I believe you know. By the way, this probably is the very important thing for our users because many complaints were sent to us regarding the support for external drive. So glad that we accomplished that. And all right, the second one was we were actually displaying the synced block count very previously for the previous releases, but then we had some minor UI changes and we decided to remove that. And with the current testnet, some of the users were not able to get sure of, like, be sure of, is it syncing actually, like, where am I at the sync process? So that's why we decided to, again, introduce this more explicit information about the height of the block you synced. So that's why in the dashboard, you will be able to correctly deduce the information, like, are you synced on the actually the latest block or not? Again, this was a trivial PR, so there is no technical detail related to that. Aside from that, I believe we are good. So I'm gonna jump to the issues. So please stop me if you have any questions. Let's continue with the closed ones. Okay, let's go this one, this one, this one, and this one. So in the log files, the best block was not displayed accurately. The reason is in the terminal, this number is actually typed with the bold font. And when you open this log file with the terminal, you are actually able to see that number. But if you are displaying the log file with a normal text editor, it was not displayed correctly. We worked with Ivan, and now it is working fine. So this was already been through. Let's not go into that. It's probably a false alert. Okay, we already went through that. This is the issue that explaining the external hard drive support. And this this is actually closed because there is a new issue describing this issue in a more elaborate way. So in the future, what we are going to do is we are going to allow our users to customize the node with uh, optional arguments. So I can jump into that issue. So Justin opened the issue. Thank you for that, Justin. So we can imagine something like there can be an advanced settings and you can supply some extra arguments for the node, configuring the node, and then desktop application will use these arguments for initializing the node. So that's why you will have more flexibility on the functionality of the node itself. Again, this is a new feature. We are not doing anything about it at the moment. It's for the future releases. All right. With that in mind, we can jump into the open issues actually. So let's go through them. This one. Serge, I'm going to leave this to you. This one. This one. Yeah, and so on. All right. So actually, right now we are storing a log file for the desktop, and this log file is like continuously growing. We did not set any limit for the log file. There are actually two ways to set limit for that log file. One of them is by the size, and second option is for the date. So time criteria, if you say. So the third library we are using is tracing, and that third library has the option for rotating logs via a time limit. So let's say each day a new log file will be created. But still that does not solve the original problem, which is the log files can grow linearly and we should have to set a limit for the size of the log file. So then we should keep the, for example, last 2 or 3 log files, so that we will erase the previous ones and the size will not grow continuously. That feature is not there yet in the third library, so I have opened a PR about that in the tracing library. It's an ongoing PR. After that one is merged, we will have this full rotating log file functionality in the desktop as well. So we are waiting on that. Okay. This is an issue that has been there since the beginning. So for the Tauri application, the Windows desktop application, we are not able to resize the application. And we should be able to do so, actually. So that's why we are going to focus on that. This is another open issue submitted this week. We already covered this. And also in the future, we will have an updater function. And ideally, it will work as the following. When the application starts, the updater should check for if there is any update present. And if there are no updates, it should continue from the usual workflow. If there is an update present, it should prompt the user for like, do you want to update or no? And if user wants to update, it should update itself and restart the application. If not, again, it should continue from the normal workflow. So these are the all new open issues on my end. Any questions or comments? I guess no. Serge, do you want to take over?
Yeah. Let me share. Okay, I assume you can see my screen. So this is the old PR that was merged previously. It was fixing a UI issue when you manually try to edit allocated field. It was rendering like it was not updating this chart. So yeah, this UI fixes it, and most of other stuff is still in progress. So specifically, voting rewards integration is requires mockup, new design. So it's kind of stuck at the moment because there is no mockup. And another issue was this one, initial values when start plotting. So as we discussed here and in another issue that Osman created, we need like an UI for error states, because currently we're only handling happy path. So yeah, this one requires a mockup. And another issue I was working is transition from syncing. Yeah, this one. So this one is interesting. It was a bit painful to set up everything locally to um, like local network. I was trying to reproduce it and I simply couldn't. But there are two elements to this problem. So one is we're using sync state endpoint RPC call for tracking syncing progress, and once we get like current block, uh, when current block is the same as block height, then we assume that you are done syncing. But block height can update, so as described here. So one alternative is to use another endpoint, and I tried it locally. It's called health, system health, and there is like a property is syncing. So we can use it as a workaround, but yeah, as I said, like I couldn't reproduce it locally, so I cannot guarantee that this problem will not happen again. And another element is like a UI, UX experience here. So because we have this like a plotting page, and then we have dashboard page, and we have this button from plotting page, which redirects you to the dashboard page. So this is a little bit confusing because button can be enabled when you have this like false synced state when current block is same as block height. So you can click the button and go to the dashboard, but if apparently block height updates, you cannot redirect user back. So I think it would be more like smooth UX if we just have a dashboard and it had like syncing or synced state, and you can go back and forth if block height updates. But yeah, this one also will require mockup. So for now, I can add this another endpoint to check syncing state, and yeah, we can discuss more when Jeremiah is back about the mockup. And I also started looking into this updater feature. Yeah, this one. So it seems like we need a server that will handle update requests. So yeah, according to the Tauri documentation.
So Lars, one of the Tori core developers, um, he has an implementation that he used where he just uses GitHub as the updater server, basically. And then there's the updater JSON, where you basically specify the new versions and everything, and he just pushes that to the repo, and then it can just check the repo as the server. Just an idea,
Yeah.
that way we don't have to have that
Mm-hmm.
extra like overhead of the whole server.
Yeah, I saw example with like a gist on GitHub. Yeah, maybe that could work for us. I still need to check. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's all on my side for now. Any questions?
Not from me.
I'm good.
Okay then. Thank you everybody for watching and attending. See you all next week.
Okay.